Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, picture this. It's a boiling hot summer day, right? Air conditioners are going full blast everywhere. The grid is really feeling the strain.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe think about a cloudy evening, no wind.
Mm.
Your solar panels, the wind turbines, they're just not putting out much power.
Yeah, the classic renewable challenge.
Exactly. So how do we keep the lights on? Reliably, cleanly, affordably, without wrecking the planet.
Well, that's what we're diving into today.
We are. We're looking at the unsung hero that's actually making that future possible. Battery energy storage systems.
Yeah, BES. And it's fascinating because these systems, they aren't just like big Tupperware containers for electricity. They're genuinely a game changer.
A game changer how?
For enabling a really stable carbon neutral future. So our mission today is basically to distill the core insights from materials provided by ENGIE.
A global leader in this space,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely, a huge player. And we want to give you the critical knowledge to understand this landscape, how it's evolving, and ENGIE's approach, which is pretty transformative.
Okay, so by the end of this deep dive, you listening should have a really clear picture of how this tech keeps power consistent and how it all ties into those big global goals like carbon neutrality.
Right.
So let's kick off with the core challenge. Renewables, solar, wind, fantastic for the environment. We all agree on that.
Absolutely. No
But they
question.
have this fundamental characteristic. They're intermittent. The sun goes down, the wind, well, it doesn't always blow.
Right. That variability makes it super difficult to meet that constant 2,147 electricity demand we all, rely on.
Yeah, you flip the switch, you expect the light to turn on.
Exactly. And this is where energy storage becomes not just important, but really transformative.
Okay.
And ENGIE, you mentioned them, huge company, 98,000 employees, 30 countries, leader in low-carbon energy. They see batteries as the decisive complement.
Decisive complement
Well,
to the existing tools.
it's the existing tools for grid flexibility, yeah. And what's really crucial here is that their capacity, it's shooting up.
Okay.
The costs plummeting like year after year. And maybe most importantly, they react incredibly fast.
How fast?
We're talking mere seconds to respond to changes in demand on the grid. Multiple times a day.
Wow. Seconds.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. For decades, electricity was mostly just in time. You fire up a plant when needed.
Right.
Now with BSS getting so cheap and so fast, we're moving to like an orchestrated grid. It's much more dynamic.
Orchestrated. Meaning,
Meaning it's not just turning big plants on or off. It's about microsecond precision, balancing supply and demand with this agility that honestly was unthinkable just a few years back.
okay, that really is a power shift.
It really is. That's the real game changer.
So with that kind of speed and potential, what does a company like ENGIE actually do with these batteries? And how big are we talking here? What's their ambition?
Well, right now, ENGIE has over 5.2 gigawatts of BSS either running or being built globally.
5.2 gigawatts?
Yeah,
That's already a lot.
it is. But they're not stopping there. Their target is pretty ambitious. 10 gigawatts of installed BSS capacity globally by 2030.
10 gigawatts by 2030. Wow.
Yeah, and this isn't just, a random number. It slots right into their bigger net zero by 2045 strategy.
Right.
And a key part of that is really efficient battery life cycle management, thinking about it right from the start.
Right. You have to think about the whole life cycle.
Yeah.
And let's put that 10 gigawatts or even the current 5.2 into context. ENGIE's total power capacity is what, 106 gigawatts?
106 gigawatts total installed capacity at 100%, yeah. And importantly, 46 gigawatts of that is already renewable.
So nearly half renewable already, which means BS isn't just like a nice to have, it's central,
But
right?
absolutely central to how they optimize using that power, how they cut carbon emissions, and how they deliver, genuinely cost-effective energy for utilities for everyone.
Okay, so with that massive scale,
Yeah.
how do these batteries actually work day to day? How do they make a difference in this energy transition?
Okay, so at its core, battery storage basically helps us build out more solar and wind faster.
How so?
Well, it lets us capture the extra power when generation is high think, like a really sunny afternoon, tons of solar power flooding the grid.
Right, sometimes too much.
Exactly. So you store that excess, and then you discharge it later when demand peaks, maybe in the evening when the sun's gone down or the wind isn't blowing as hard.
So it smooths out those peaks and valleys.
Precisely. Now, when we talk tech, ENGIE's main focus for these big projects is mature lithium-ion battery technology. It's, the workhorse right now.
Okay, Lion. Makes sense. We see it everywhere.
We do, but they're not only doing that, they're also looking into and sometimes using other things like flow batteries, hybrid systems, keeping their options open, exploring innovations.
Right, diversifying. So how does a lithium-ion battery actually work? Just the basics.
Okay, super basic level. Think of it like moving tiny charged particles, these lithium ions, back and forth.
Okay.
When you charge the battery, these ions move from one side, the cathode, through a liquid called the electrolyte, to the other side, the anode, where they kind of embed themselves. That stores the energy.
Right.
When you discharge it to use the power, the ions move back the other way, through the electrolyte to the cathode again. And that releases the stored energy, creating an electrical current.
Okay, so it's this back and forth movement.
Exactly, a reversible process. And lithium ion is great for the grid scale, mainly because it packs a lot of energy in a small space, high energy density. It lasts a long time, lots of cycles.
And it's fast, right? You mentioned the speed.
Incredibly fast response time, yeah.
Yeah.
And crucially, the cost keeps coming down. That's a huge factor.
That speed, that responsiveness. Yeah, that brings in the smart part, doesn't it? These aren't just dumb batteries.
Not at all. ENGIE's best solutions use sophisticated AI-powered energy management systems.
AI, so what does the AI do?
Well, it ensures you're dispatching the energy, optimally charging and discharging at the best times for the grid and for economics. It enables predictive maintenance.
Ah, so it can tell if something might go wrong.
Exactly. Keep everything running smoothly. And it handles that seamless interaction with the grid. It's like having a really smart conductor leading the whole energy orchestra.
It's an intelligent conductor.
Yeah.
I like that. So that intelligence, that leads to their versatility, right? What are the main jobs these batteries do?
Yeah, they're incredibly versatile. We can sort of group the applications into two main buckets. First up, energy shifting and capacity market services.
Okay, what does that involve?
Think of it like being a smart energy trader. The battery buys electricity from the grid when it's cheap, maybe overnight, or when there's tons of solar.
And sells it back when prices are high.
Exactly. That's called wholesale arbitrage. It also helps manage imbalances between supply and demand on the grid in real time.
Okay, so trading and balancing. What's the second bucket?
The second is ancillary services. These are all about improving the overall health and stability of the grid.
Ancillaries, like helping services.
Precisely. Things like frequency response, keeping the grid's electrical frequency super stable, like its heartbeat, voltage support, providing capacity reserve just in case.
What about blackouts?
They can even help with black start, helping restore power after a major outage. Plus, they can relieve congestion on power lines and sometimes even let utilities put off expensive upgrades to poles and wires.
So they really do a lot of different jobs for the grid.
A whole suite of services.
And how are they actually set up? Like, where do these batteries physically go? You mentioned three main ways.
Yeah, three main deployment models. First, you've got the co-located battery.
Co-located. So next to something else.
Right. Usually right next to a generation source, like a big solar farm or a wind farm. It can store the energy made right there, or it can send power to the grid.
Okay. Makes sense. What's the second type?
Second is the standalone battery. This one isn't tied to a specific power plant. It just sits on the grid, charges up from the grid when power is available or cheap.
And then pushes it back to the grid when needed.
Exactly. Pure grid support and energy trading, usually.
Then the third?
The third is the demand-side battery. This is different. It's located at, say, a large industrial facility, maybe a big factory, or even a commercial building complex.
Okay, so on the customer side of the meter.
Right. It can store energy from the grid or maybe from solar panels on the factory roof. And then it can either send that power back to the grid or, more often, use it right there, locally, to power the facility.
Ah, so it helps the customer manage their own energy use and costs, too.
Precisely. So it's important to distinguish. The grid-connected ones, co-located and standalone, are mainly about the big picture, grid stability, large-scale energy shifting.
While the demand-side ones are more about immediate local needs, but can still interact with the grid.
Exactly. That interaction is key for real-time distribution.
Okay, let's talk scale again. ENGIE's global footprint. You said 5,245 megawatts total operational or under construction?
That's the current number, yeah, 5.2 gigawatts.
And that breaks down into 2,597 megawatts actually running now, and another 2,648 megawatts being built as we speak.
Significant pipeline.
And looking at the regions, North America seems to be the giant here.
It is their biggest market by far. Just over 2 gigawatts operational and another 2 gigawatts under construction there.
So roughly 4 gigawatts total just in North America. What about other places?
Europe has 78 megawatts running, but a much bigger chunk under construction, 355 megawatts.
Okay, growing fast there.
Asia Pacific, Middle East, and Africa. That region has 159 operational, 94 under construction.
Right.
And Latin America has a pretty solid base, 291 megawatts operational and another 123 megawatts being built.
Wow. It really is a global puzzle, isn't it? You look at those numbers scattered across continents. The logistics must be pretty intense. Different rules, different grids.
Oh, absolutely. Deploying these massive systems across so many different regulatory environments, different grid codes, it's incredibly complex.
Can you give us some specific examples, like real projects on the ground?
Sure. To give you a feel for the scale, in the U.S. there's 5 wells. That's a big one. 250 megawatts with a 1-hour duration.
250 megawatts.
Yeah. Libra storage, also U.S., is 200 megawatts, also 1 hour. Down in Chile, Coya is 139 megawatts, but with a longer duration, 4.5 hours. That's significant.
4.5 hours, so it can provide power for longer.
Exactly. Different needs, different solutions. In Italy, Salemi and Neramontoro, 38 megawatts for 1 hour. And in Peru, Chilca 1 is 27 megawatts, shorter duration, 30 minutes, probably for a fast frequency response.
So each one is tailored to its specific grid needs.
Precisely. They all play a vital role.
Okay, but let's really drill down into one specific case study. See how all these pieces, the tech, the applications, the location fit together. What's the story with the Hazelwood battery in Australia?
Hazelwood. HBESS, they call it. Yeah, that's a great example of a big utility-scale battery.
How big?
It's 150 megawatts with 150 megawatt hours of storage, so 1 hour duration at full power.
Okay. And its main job?
Its main purpose is really to help deliver grid stability for the state of Victoria. Big impact there.
How big? Can you quantify that?
Yeah, get this. It can store the same amount of energy as an hour's generation from about 30,000 typical Victorian rooftop solar systems.
30,000 homes worth of solar for an hour. Wow.
Yeah. So it plays a really critical role in boosting the state's energy capacity and keeping the grid stable. And it's designed for the long-haul, estimated 20-year project life.
20 years. Okay, what's the tech behind it? You mentioned Lion, but any specifics?
Yeah, it uses Fluence's GridStack product. Fluence is a major player in battery systems.
Okay.
And GridStack basically involves these modular factory-built units called Fluence cubes. Hazelwood uses 342 of them.
342 cubes.
Yeah, like building blocks.
Kind of, yeah. Highly standardized integrated controls software in each one. It's designed for, top-tier reliability and safety, which is obviously paramount for something this size. Absolutely. Safety first. And how is it optimized? You mentioned AI earlier.
Exactly. Hazelwood uses Fluence Mosaic. That's their AI-powered bidding software.
Bidding software.
Yeah, it intelligently figures out the best way to dispatch the battery's power, when to charge, when to discharge. It does this to maximize 2 things. The battery's long-term health.
Right. You don't want to wear it out too quickly.
And also how its services are bid into Australia's national electricity market, the NEM. So it's maximizing the value, both technically and commercially.
Smart. Very smart. What about the site itself? Hazelwood. That name rings a bell. Wasn't that an old power station?
It was a major coal-fired power station, now decommissioned. The battery is built on part of the old site. The whole Hazelwood mining license area is huge, around 4,000 hectares.
Wow. Bigger than Melbourne CBD.
Larger than the Melbourne CBD, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an established power generation site, crucially, with access to 1,600 megawatts of existing but dormant transmission capacity.
So they can reuse the old grid connections. That
Yeah.
saves a lot of money and time.
Huge advantage. And it shows the potential for these old industrial sites to become, multi-use energy hubs for the future.
Definitely. So Hazelwood's applications,
Yeah.
are they the standard ones? Energy shifting, grid services?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It provides flexible capacity storing energy, injecting it back to meet Victoria's peak demand, and it supplies those crucial grid stability services.
Like the frequency control you mentioned.
Yep, all the frequency control ancillary services,
Yeah.
FCAS, they call it there. And it's also capable of providing the newer, even faster service called fast frequency response, or FFR.
Okay. So it really is, as you said, future-proofing the grid.
It's a perfect example, yeah.
It's an incredible case study. Really shows how these systems are changing the whole energy game. But, this is complex stuff, high stakes. What makes a company like ENGIE stand out? Why are they a leader here?
Well, I think it's a mix of things. First, Just their sheer global expertise. They've got a proven track record deploying these big lithium-ion systems all over the world.
For all those different applications you listed.
Right. Grid support, mixing it with renewables, frequency regulation, capacity. And they work really closely with the battery makers, the OEMs, with regulators, financial institutions.
To sort of shape the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, to help shape safety standards, figure out how to optimize performance, and importantly, how to de-risk the investment for these massive projects. Builds confidence.
That makes sense. What else?
Second, their strategic partnerships are really key. They don't just build things, they do deep market research, scenario planning, trying to map out where energy is going.
Looking ahead.
Exactly. And they share those insights with governments. The idea is to help make sure the right storage solutions get built in the right markets at the right time. It's more collaborative.
Okay, so expertise and collaboration. What about innovation?
Third, their innovative approach. They're investing in R&D, especially, pushing the boundaries even with mature tech like lithium-ion, always looking to enhance performance, make batteries last longer, be more efficient.
Constantly improving.
And finally, maybe the most important underlying principle, safety and design. It's core for all their BES projects.
How so?
They apply really rigorous standards, right, from picking the technology through to building it and operating it. The goal is to prevent risks, thermal, chemical, operational, protecting people, the assets themselves, and, frankly, reputations.
Yeah, you can't afford major incidents.
Absolutely not. But, it's fair to say, like with any large-scale energy project, especially with newer tech, there are always ongoing challenges.
Such as?
Well, optimizing every single bit of the supply chain, ensuring regulations keep pace across all these different markets, it's a constant process. But that commitment to safety and collaboration is how they, navigate that complexity.
That's a really crucial point. We're shifting the entire energy system. We absolutely cannot afford widespread blackouts or unreliable power during this transition.
No way.
So it's really about making sure renewables can grow without causing instability. Yeah. Supporting that growth, not hindering it, and managing those risks you mentioned.
Exactly. And if you connect all this back to the bigger picture, it just highlights this deep commitment to flexibility, to sustainability, and crucially, reliability.
Which is vital everywhere, right? Whether it's the UAE, North America, Europe.
Truly, anywhere in the world that's moving towards a cleaner energy mix and away from traditional fossil fuels, these systems are essential.
So we've taken quite a journey today. From that global challenge of keeping the lights on reliably, right down into the nuts and bolts of battery energy storage systems. And we've seen how a company like ENGIE isn't just, talking about the energy transition. They're actively out there building the infrastructure that makes it real.
From gigawatts of storage worldwide down to the intricate details of that Hazelwood project in Australia.
Really putting the pieces in place.
Yeah. And maybe this raises an interesting question for you, the listener, to think about. As our world shifts more and more to renewables, what role do you see these adaptable storage solutions playing?
In, our daily lives.
Yeah, in daily life, in the wider economy, say, over the next 10 years. Are they going to stay mostly these huge grid-scale things? Or will we see them become much more integrated into our homes, our businesses? Where do you think the balance will shift?
That is a fascinating thought, isn't it? Where will we see these batteries pop up next? The future of energy, it feels like it's being built right now, literally one battery at a time. Keep exploring, keep asking questions.
Definitely.
And join us next time on The Deep